What is the turning point that causes Sam to make his final decision regarding Max? Was it a sudden decision, or has he been thinking about it for a while? What clues do you find throughout the novel to support your position?
I think that the turning point was when Max cut his hands on page 173. But I think because he like pinned all the responsibility on himself. But I think that he, throughout the book, was like always had this decision in the back of his mind. And when he saw like how much support and help Claire got, it really made him like feel like he was on his own, and that, yeah.
I agree with Jill because of like on page 173 and like how he cut his hand, and also I think it like had been a decision that he'd been thinking about for a while, because on page 193 he was like, it's not just like last night, referring to like the cuts, it's been something he'd been thinking about for a long time. So I think it was like the cut that kind of like made him finally decide that he had to do this.
I agree with Jill and Ashna, because like the day after is like the first time he tells someone, or like we hear in the book, that he wants to give him up for adoption, because on page 192, like he's talking to Claire and he says like, I think I'm gonna give Max up. So it's kind of like he's been thinking about it for a while. Like you hear earlier in the stories, like, oh, what if Max is older and he wants to get nice shoes, or wants to play sports and all that stuff, and he knows like he probably can't get into them.
And I think he also realized that this is like the first time Max has gotten hurt, and he has to like take care of him, because he has like stitches, and he realized that it's like something else could happen, and he has to deal with this like the rest of his life pretty much.
And I know that on page 180 he said okay, I can't just go to the next one.
Keep going.
Okay,
Just go.
I can't find it.
Do you want to go back to?
Well, okay, page 180, when you say he thought he know what he's doing, and then he realized he didn't know everything. So I think like it's like ever since that accident happened, and he just think he didn't know anything, it's like good to like give him away, better than like he didn't know anything. Right, Mackenzie?
Well, on page 193, like on the first page of chapter 23, he says that it wasn't just the hospital event or like the broken glass, and that it was like all kinds of things he'd been thinking about for a while. And I think also like throughout the book, I think they're in like the grocery store or something, I can't remember, and like a kid was begging for something. He thought like, what's gonna happen when like Max gets older, and like you see like little clues throughout the book where he would think about like how he couldn't provide specific things, and it just like all added up, and he finally just like, I don't know, I was surprised though that he like made that final decision, because I thought he would be too attached to Max. But
And I think he can't always blame himself, because on page 174, when Max got cuts on his head, he said it's like my fault, it's my responsibility. And like he always blamed himself when he woke up and he think of Max, like he's like shocked and like wonder where Max is or something like that. So you can't be like appearing sorry and blame yourself all the time.
All right. The turning point, I guess, first and was, like everyone said, in 183, when
accident happened, well, that was 173, I think. But then, when he was talking about it wasn't just like the basketball thing, and then like the tantrum about the shoes and the grocery store. You said that was a big part of it. It was just like they all added up, and then like this was like the climax of it. That's what the final accident was about, the edge.
I agree with Colin that it was on page 173. That was like the final decision, but I think he was thinking about it the whole time. Like how he was his friends, hanging out with his friends and stuff.
Can anyone think of like any other clues that we pick up throughout the book? Like we said that when he sees that boy and like says that he won't be able to get Max like the shoes that he wants or whatever. Did anyone find anything else?
Maybe when he was at the mall and he was watching the kids like ice skate and like thinking of Max when he was.
I did not do that. What?
Watch.
He is, oh my
Screw
god.
on.
Oh no. I just touched it. And it fell off.
Recording you? Wait, stop the recording.